my name is Louise and welcome to this special little mini episode of Adventures with Yarn. I am here to answer the challenge that Emily put out there, Emily of When Harry Met Ani podcast, which you should definitely check out. She was challenged by, I want to say, by the yarn curator to do this 20 question challenge of YouTube podcasters. So I am going to follow her lead. I'm going to sit and chat with you while actively knitting on a project and answer some questions. I am in a different location than usual. You'll notice this backdrop looks a little differently. Please don't mind the mess behind me. But I wanted to come at you from where I actually knit. This right here is where you can usually find me knitting in my free time. I kind of sit long ways on my couch, and if you could see behind the camera, you would see I am in view of my TV right there. I have my coffee table behind me where I just kind of keep a lot of things. So yeah, I want to answer these questions for you. I want to show you what I'm currently knitting, and I thought it'd be really fun to do a little unboxing at the end. I have a special holiday mystery box from Charmed and Dangerous that I haven't even gotten into myself, so stick around, we'll do that at the end. So while I'm answering these questions, I'm going to be knitting on my Rose City roller socks, and these are being made as a Christmas gift, and for a particular person who has who is an aficionado of film and movies and TV, and so I have these colors. This is the Night King by Madeline Tosh, inspired by Game of Thrones, and then the heel and the toe will be made out of this Madeline Tosh color, which is called the Upside Down, inspired from Stranger Things. I do have a Pitter Patter polymer stitch marker on here, and it is a pumpkin pie because somehow in my mind I got the idea that I would be finishing these before Thanksgiving. That was not to be the case. I ended up going into triage Christmas knit mode and needed to knit on what needed to be finished in time for Knitmas. This particular Knitmas gift can be given a little bit later. So that's what I'm going to be knitting on. Let's get into these questions. By the way, if you're new to the podcast, welcome. This isn't really quite the usual podcast style, so if you are more interested in seeing lots of different yarns and projects I'm working on, general chit chat, check out my regularly scheduled podcast on one of my other episodes. But today we are going to be answering some questions. So the first question, what does your name mean? So the name of my podcast is Adventures with Yarn, and I feel like almost every project I make kind of turns into an adventure in some way. I feel like I'm always coming across issues and little mistakes I'm having to either figure out how to get through, or sometimes I do rip back. Sometimes I just kind of figure out how I can just make things work. But it's always an adventure, and so somewhere along the line I thought up Adventures with Yarn, and I like it. It's stuck. My name, Louise, I think I've heard some say that it has the meaning of warrior princess, but I could just be being idealistic. For sure it is a French and English name. It is quite an old-fashioned name. Actually, a lot of people in my family have the middle name Louise. It is a family middle name. Until I came along, my mom decided to give it to me as my first name. So my mom's middle name is Louise. My grandmother, my great-grandmother, plenty of aunts and cousins, all middle names are Louise. I will probably give my daughter the middle name Louise, should I be so blessed as to have a daughter someday. So that's just a little bit about my name. Sometimes I get a little touchy when people don't pronounce my name right. I get a lot of Louis, Lois, Luis, which is not the same as Louise. Sometimes when I meet people, I like say just ease into it. Louise, take it easy, Louise. Anyways, yeah, but actually there are people that have known me for quite a while that do just call me Luis. And that's not the same. But, you know, oh well. Next question. Where are you from? I'm from Oregon. I am from Oregon. I've lived in a couple cities in Oregon. But mostly, I would say born and raised here, but I was not born here. We'll get into that in the next question. But I was raised here in Oregon. I spent some time living in California at one point, but then have come back to live in Oregon. Where were you born? So actually it's a little interesting, but I was born in the Philippines. My dad was in the Navy when I was born, and he was stationed in Manila, Subic Bay, and my mom gave birth to me in a Subic Bay Naval Hospital. And one of my sisters was born there as well, and we moved back to America when I was about 3 years old, so I don't actually have any conscious memories of the Philippines, but all my baby pictures are of me in the Philippines, and they're pretty cool to see. So yeah, actually a lot of people will ask me, you know, oh, can you have dual citizenship? No, not really. It doesn't actually work that way. What I have is a Filipino birth certificate, but I also have a certificate of birth abroad. So because my parents are both American and I was born on a Navy base. So that's that situation. Next question. What would your parents have named you if you had been a boy? So I definitely know the answer to this because my parents never did have a boy. They had 4 girls. But should any of us have been a boy, we would have been named Josiah. My mom really likes that name. And so she told us that's what she would have named us if any of us were a boy. What is your biggest accomplishment? I think that my biggest accomplishment, since I have not actually given birth ever, the most challenging thing that I've ever done was graduating nursing school. And I hope that doesn't sound cliche or anything, but really, that really was quite a challenge in my life. Nursing school is hard, stressful, tedious. The one I went through, I had to go through so many hoops. You know, most of your grade is dependent on testing, and then you have a little bit of skills sprinkled in there, and that's nerve-wracking when you have to do a skill in front of an instructor, like watching you, like physically right there watching you. And of course the testing system, it's really, oh my goodness, it's kind of like we're going to teach you A and B, and then we're going to test you on C and D. Anyways, that's behind me. That's probably also why I have such a spot in my heart for nursing students, because I have a lot of empathy for them and what they're working on going towards. All right. What is your eye color? So I was tickled to hear that Emily answered this the same way that I'm going to answer this. And I say, as well as Emily from When Harry Met Annie, that my eye color is gray. Sometimes they look kind of blue, but I I think for the most part, they are kind of actually this grayish color. And just like Emily, that is what I put down on my license, my ID, that my eye color is gray. Let's see, what is your favorite candle scent? So sadly, my husband gets bothered a lot by scents and certain smells. So I have had to forego a lot of scented candles, a lot of perfumes in my life. Even sometimes certain soaps, I might forget and use them, and then I'll be hanging out around him and he'll start feeling kind of wheezy and be like, oh, what did you use? What did you put on? So I don't know what my favorite scent of candle is. I think I'm trying to remember this one. I have this one red candle from, what were they called? What were there? Oh man, I should have prepared for this. There's a certain red, it might be pomegranate. Oh gosh, and I can't even remember the name of the candles. There's like, you know, like when you show up to those parties, like, and people are selling things, I think it's like a multi-level marketing candle. It's not Scentsy, but it's something else, and they have little candles like tea lights or something. I can't remember now, it's been so long. But I bought these little red candles, and they were kind of a little fruity, but also kind of a spice, kind of cinnamon-ish smell. Oh, great. Failed this question. I failed it. I'm sorry. Next question. Can you cook? Can. Yes. Should. No. I'm not very talented in the kitchen. I mean, I had once like boiled over macaroni and cheese. I at one point I did make some very concerted efforts to improve my cooking skills. I invested in a book called Cooking School, and it kind of taught me how to make an omelet. I can make a really good omelet. I kind of started working on my chopping skills, dicing skills, but no, I'm not really very talented in the kitchen. I think I'm pretty laid back. When I was growing up, my sister one of my sisters is more of a take control kind of gal, and so she would want to take control and cook us dinner when we had to fend for ourselves every so often at home. And so I would just let her be like, okay, cool, you can do it. So I feel like her kitchen skills became, you know, she was able to hone in much more on those cooking skills than I did as we were growing up. All right, what is good about your life right now? So, I mean, there are a lot of good things about my life right now. I can definitely say right now, getting ready for Christmas, opening up advent calendars, I'm getting ready to go and visit family. The Christmas spirit, Christmas happenings, holiday goings on are really awesome. I'm really enjoying it. I think I'm also enjoying just having a little bit of extra time for myself, even though this has really only been the first week since I have since I've been finished with teaching some nursing students. I did their little final evaluations last week, and already I'm just kind of enjoying taking a breath, relaxing a bit more, doing a few more things for myself, having a little bit more time. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. What is your sign? So I already mentioned being laid back. I am an Aquarius, and that is a water sign. As I understand, it's supposed to be, you know, those that are easygoing, go with the flow, and I do very much tend to be that way. So in that regards, I do identify with my zodiac sign. in that way. Next question. What scares you about aging? Well, besides having to continually dye my hair to cover up the grays that have already started sprouting, would it be dumb if I said I'm scared to not get to take advantage of my full yarn stash? Like, I have so much yarn, you guys. Really, I honestly would be set for, I feel like, a couple years if I just stopped buying yarn altogether, because how big my stash is. But I just love hand-dyed yarn, especially. I love sock yarn. I'm loving making socks. I guess so that would be my fear, is growing old and not being able to knit, or not being able to take full advantage of my yarn stash, I guess. What is your favorite holiday? Christmas, for sure. I might be basic in that way, but I mean, giving gifts is just the best. It is the best thing about Christmas, especially when I spend sometimes a lot of the year knitting for the people I love and care about, and then getting to give them those things, especially for 99% of the people I knit for are knit worthy, and they do appreciate what I make for them. So that is the best part of the best holiday, or favorite holiday of mine. What is your guilty pleasure? So besides trashy reality TV shows, and I'm talking I'm talking kind of trashy, I really get into reality TV shows like what's her name, Honey Boo Boo. I love Honey Boo Boo. They recently had a Mama June, I think it's like from not to hot, and I was eating that up. I was loving it. I in the past have been guilty of binging seasons of Bad Girls. What else? Big Brother, things like that. Jersey Shore is one of my favorites, and yeah, that is definitely a guilty pleasure of mine. I would say another guilty pleasure, which is might be a little bit strange, is that I really enjoy watching Vine compilations on YouTube. My husband teases me saying that I'm like, 10 years too late. I'm 10 years behind, that I would have enjoyed them when the app was actually running. But especially like the compilations are usually like a bunch of funny Vines, and sometimes you watch them enough and you get to be familiar with the ones that are kind of repeated every so often from different compilations. And I don't know, they're so short. A lot of them are so funny. I find myself like finding ways to reference them in real life. And but a lot of people don't seem to share my same thoughts. They don't seem to find the humor that I find in a lot of those finds. What is your favorite show to binge watch? I suppose another guilty pleasure of mine is the show Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I just think it's hilarious. Sometimes it's kind of raunchy, sometimes it's not appropriate, but I have watched every single episode. This latest season is the only season I've seen once. I have gone through all of them at least 3 times. They're like almost timeless. The humor, the characters, I mean, they are by no means role models to society, these characters, but I find them really funny, and and I will binge watch that. What is the one thing you can't leave the house without? I mean, should I state the obvious and say my cell phone? That used to not be the case. There really was a day. My husband used to really get on me when we were dating. Before I had an iPhone, I had some other little phone. And I would travel to see him because we lived in different cities. And then I would just put my phone in my purse and leave it at his place and go out. We'd go out to eat and whatever. And he'd be like, aren't you bringing your phone? Why are you leaving your cell phone? And I told him, I was like, I'm hanging out with you. No one else needs to talk to me right now. Or I don't need to talk to anybody else. If they need to get a hold of me, you know, whatever, it's my day off and I'm hanging out with my boyfriend, who then became my husband. So I would just leave my cell phone behind. But I suppose it's different now, and I'm, you know, for almost everybody. If that's not the case for you, let me know. Comment below. I want to hear from you. Okay. Are you a morning person or a night owl? So if I had to choose between the two, I'm going to say night owl, but I find myself in a very strange situation, and maybe it's just because of how life is, but I find myself waking up kind of, you know, when I wake up in the mornings, it's really hard to wake up. It's rough waking up. I don't like being awake early. But then, you know, my body gets so used to waking up early. On my days off, I'm only sleeping in at like an hour, if that. And then I would like to stay up late, but then I become sleepy because of how early I'm waking up. But I think that left to my own devices, and especially like when I'm on vacation, I would definitely say I'm much more of a night owl than a morning person. What is your favorite genre of movies? Well, I think one of my favorites are definitely creature thrillers. So I'm really big on shark movies, like Jaws, what is it called, 47 Meters Down, The Shallows. I was super stoked for the movie Crawl, which is out and available for rent now, which is an alligator movie. I really like alligators. So yeah, I know those things usually end up getting really cheesy, maybe not the most realistic, but I just eat those up. And then after that, any other like psychological thrillers, let's see, I'm having a hard time. I mean, Fight Club is one of my favorite movies. What else? Things like that. What is the last thing you bought? Well, I suppose quite literally the last thing that I bought was some pizza. Since I am home alone for the day, I figured I would treat myself and order some pizza to be delivered to me, so I didn't have to make anything, I didn't have to go anywhere. What actually happened though was when I signed in the Pizza Hut app to have this delivery, I forgot that the last time I ordered pizza was when I was hanging out with some friends having we call it game day, so it's like game night, except it takes up the day, during the day, and I had ordered pizza to be delivered to my friend's house. And so today I was waiting for my delivery and I got a phone call, and the delivery guy was like, hey, I'm at the wrong address. And then he proceeded to list off my friend's address. I said, oops, sorry. Nope, I'll give you my address. So he made it here, and the pizza did too. So that was my lunch today, and that's the last thing I spent money on. Are you an introvert or an extrovert? So I am definitely an introvert, though I might be considered an extroverted introvert. As you can see, I have no problem posting these kind of videos. I have no problem being chit-chatty to the camera, to, you know, my perspective viewing audience. But when it comes to actual life, I very much am shy. I usually will defer to others if others want to take the lead to an extent. But also to an extent, I'm for sure introverted in that I gain my energy and I recharge my batteries by spending time alone, doing things by myself, being at home. But these last several months, I have been hanging out with friends on a day off or two during the week. And it's very much not like me in my usual introverted behavior, but it's been really rewarding and awesome and fun. And probably just because these are like my good friends, like I know them really well. They're not like strangers. But yeah, even my husband's been kind of surprised. He's just like, who are you? What are you doing? So hope that answers that question. And the last question, what is your favorite book? So I don't know how to answer that question. When I was young, I read Charlotte's Web like several times because I really liked that book when I was growing up. So I suppose I could say Charlotte's Web. Some other books I've really enjoyed, some series I've enjoyed are Game of Thrones, which I actually haven't even finished. And I haven't picked up for a while. I'll probably have to restart a book somewhere in there. But I like reading Game of Thrones, and for a while I was into the Sookie Stackhouse series, which is kind of like a vampire romance. It's the book series that True Blood is based off of. I was enjoying that, and sometimes if I'm in the mood, like a dark mood, I will read, why can't I think of her name now? She does another vampire series. I'm totally blanking. Of course, I'm totally blanking. Anita Blake is the name of the character. I can't think of the author's name. I feel like, anyways, there's the Anita Blake series. She's also kind of like a vampire hunter, kind of she calls herself a necromancer, so she kind of like will raise zombies up from the dead for like forensic issues to like discover or like investigate crimes. And also, speaking of crimes, I do enjoy true crime books as well. So all right, so that answers the 20 questions. Thank you, Emily from When Harry Met Ani, for nominating me to do this. This was really fun, and I'm really glad I did. It took me a little while, but I knew I'd have time eventually to do this. So I'm going to nominate 3 other YouTube podcasters to do this. I am going to nominate Amanda from Birch and Lily podcast. I really enjoy watching her podcast. She has quite a bit of cross stitch in her podcast and plenty of sock knitting. She is such a sweet person, and she makes just the sweetest designs. She designs her own stuff. All her color choices, it blows me away that she consistently has like super cute color choices. And I really enjoy watching her podcast. So I'm going to nominate her, and I'm going to nominate Landon from the podcast A Trans Guy Who Likes to Knit. I enjoy watching their podcast. I don't know, something about, he always has really cute stuff to show, and I don't know, I just kind of like listening to him. I really hope I'm getting the pronouns correct, but I really enjoy that podcast. So I am nominating Landon, and then I'm going to nominate someone who is a new to me podcaster, and that is going to be Nicole of the Nicole Stitches podcast. I came across her podcast when I was looking for something new, and I really enjoy her stuff. She has unique style. She's making this sweater that definitely has some unique, bold color choices that are pretty cool. She also sells some bags that she has sewn and I have purchased, so you'll get to see those later on. So yeah, Amanda, Landon, and Nicole, you guys have been challenged to do these questions. I will post the questions down below, so you can copy and paste those and answer them for yourself. I would be very interested to hear how you answer these questions. And now we are going to take the time to do a little unboxing. So, Charmed and Dangerous put out a little holiday mystery box, and you may be familiar with them if you participated in our knit-alongs. I've only had 2 knit-alongs for this podcast, but she did donate some stitch markers to both of those knit-alongs. She had some really cute mac and cheese stitch markers that she donated for the mac and cheese stock knit-along, and then a really cute little purple narwhal for our purple baby hat knit-along. I've purchased some things from her myself, and when I saw that she had like a mystery charm holiday box, I was just like, yes, yes, please, we need this. So we're gonna unbox it. So I'm opening this up, and just some green tissue paper. Okay, so we have this little box here and some goodies here. So look here, we have some Ghirardelli chocolate, looks like some peppermint bark, very festive, a little Ghirardelli milk chocolate snowman, ooh, some tea. This says it is some organic peppermint delight probiotic tea. Some healthy digestion there. And how cute is this? Also, some vanilla organic lip balm. Very cute, very important for the holiday season when things are so cold. And how cute is this little box? Okay, I think this is starting to come off, but how cute is that? And we have this little card here that says North Pole to Louise from Santa. There's a little naughty and nice, and I'm glad that she marked me as nice. You can see there. Inspected by elf number 1225. The list was checked twice. How cute is that? All right, so we've got this little box. Let's see what's inside. I believe that there are going to be 3 charms inside. Okay, we have a little note. Oh, says surprise, there are actually 4 charms. Open in sequence for a fun peek at what a day in Santa's workshop looks like. Oh, and each little bag has a little number on it. Oh my gosh, how cute is this? Okay, number 1. Open this up here. Oh, how cute. Look at this. It is a little gingerbread house. How cute is that? Oh, I love the little oh, the door is a little bar of chocolate. Oh my gosh, how cute is that? So cute. Okay, let's open up number 2. By the way, I did mention to my husband last night that I need a progress keeper holder like Amanda from Birch and Lily to hold all my progress keepers so I can have them out and on display. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Look at this one. A little elf. Little elf with a little green hat. How cute. A little bit of glitter on there. Wow. She is so talented. You guys, you may not be able to buy this little holiday box anymore, but you can find Charmed and Dangerous on Etsy and check out her stuff. She has some super, super cute stuff. All right, 3, the third charm. Oh, oh my gosh, look at this little bear. How cute is that? This little red bow. So cute. And a little bit more glitter on there too. My gosh, it's just so adorable. 4, fourth one, which is really a surprise. I mean, these went on sale on Black Friday, and I will tell you that she had announced that they would be up on sale at a certain time. And I did actually, like, I had to work on Black Friday. I specifically, like, was watching the clock and scooted on into the break room to purchase these, like, as soon as it came out. Oh, it's a little present. How cute is that? A little gift with a little pink bow. Oh, so cute. Oh my gosh. Well, what an awesome little surprise. This is definitely a treat that I wanted to get for myself because I just know that she makes just the cutest things. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me in this very special, different kind of episode. Comment down below. Give me a thumbs up if you like what you see. As always, if you do like what you see, feel free to subscribe. And be sure to check out those other podcasts like The Yarn Curator and When Harry Met Ani, a trans guy who likes to knit, Nicole Stitch's podcast, and of course, Birch and Lily. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye.